Hey, Adam, thank you so much for doing this for me and everybody else that's listening in. I was just excited to hear, that you were gonna come on. I just want to say one thing about Adam. I first met him in Nashville, and I was sitting in a room with probably about 200 people, and I was shocked to see him sitting there and just he was there listening and learning just like I was. And he was in the room, and he was just like so humble, just like you would never think, this guy is running a big corporation worldwide, and he's there just learning what I'm there learning and experiencing. And I had a little brief moment with him there, and I'll tell you, one of the most humble guys that you could ever, if you ever get to meet him, unbelievably humble. Adam, thank you so much for coming on board here with us today. I really appreciate it very much. And I just wanted to, say, like, I'm sure you're busy, more busy than ever now. And I'm sure your schedule, like what's going on? Like, how's your schedule now that with this COVID? Is it, are you more busy with all these Zoom meetings, or what's the story on that?
Rob, I have been around the world more times in single days than you could possibly imagine. It's interesting. Typically, when you run a global company and you have a problem, it's usually regional. The problem's typically regional. You might have a problem in a certain country or certain part of the United States or something like that. You might have an earthquake or a flood or a forest fire, or some political issue or something like that. But you never get anything that's global. So, I just finished shooting a video for Romania. I shot a video for South Africa. I've been in Canada 3 times today, all over coast to coast in the United States. It's a lot of Zooming, but
New
I will
adjectives.
say this. I will say this. There's a huge redeeming factor to this, and that's in the past 16 years, I have never been able to eat dinner with my family and sleep in my own bed more days in a row than I've done now. So, I mean, there is a silver lining to this whole thing.
Wow, wow. So like, I gotta tell you something. When I met you, you're in pretty good physical condition. Like, I mean, you are like, do you work out every day? Like, do you have a regiment that, like, I mean, you're fit. Like,
Take
I've
us through
never
the morning
seen.
routine. Take us through the morning routine. The
Yeah.
Adam Contos, CEO of ReMax morning routine. What times it start? What are you eating? Where are you working out?
Okay, Phil. So yes, I am incredibly regimented in my daily routine. In fact, I'm working on a lot of. Everybody asks me this. They say, "What does your day look like?" And I'm almost done with a download. I'll send you guys a link to it so you can send it out. But basically, what does my daily checklist look like? And that does include a workout every single day. So I get up before COVID. I get up at 4:30 every single day without exception. A lot of people think I'm nuts for doing that, but I have to start my day, and there's only there's only so many hours in a day, so you got to make the most of all of them, right? So I get up right now. I get up at 5 because I'm not going to the gym. The gym's closed here in Colorado. I don't know when they're going to open up, but we have weights and we have a Peloton here. So I'll get up at 5. I have a bulletproof coffee. So it's got, all sorts of different nutrients and collagen and coconut oil and things like that in it. So I'll have a coffee like that. And then I'll go downstairs and I'll get in an hour of workout. I have to work out for an hour. That's my thing. So every day, but I am very careful of what I put into my body. So I like things. I mean, for Mother's Day, we had pizza. So I'm good with having that. I just look at it and go, this is like a bank account. You better be putting more into it than you're taking out. So, I try to stay in shape. It's just kind of been the lifestyle because my life used to depend on it. And I still look at it and go, my life depends on it because with stress and travel and everything else, you need to take care of yourself. And which is why I have Mind Body Business, which is my broadcast I do on Thursdays. If your mind is not right and your body's not right, your business is going to suck. So you might as well get those first two things right and really focus on them. And the third one is a little bit easier.
Awesome. What's your Peloton handle so I could see your? If you don't want to share that, that's fine. I understand.
No, it's start with a win.
Okay, gotcha. I'll see if I can find you on the thing. I actually ordered a Peloton 2 weeks into this COVID myself, so I've been on that, and because obviously gyms and my trainer and everything else was they're shut down, so I feel sorry for these guys. I think when things start back up again, but now Adam, I'll tell you, like, you are unbelievably fantastic with your social media. Like right now, like I stepped up a little bit more with my videos, and not as much as you, but I'm trying to get into the habit of it. I think that's the key word, habit of doing it. But like, were you always in the habit of doing it? Like you seem to be pumping it out. Very few CEOs like yourself like that, worldwide, corporations like yourself, do this kind of stuff, and you're on it, and I'm like really impressed with that.
Thank you. There's a lesson for everybody in this. Everybody that's on this Zoom call here needs to listen to this particular thing, because I've got a couple of little cliche sayings that I'm going to throw at you. The first one is presence creates trust. Presence creates trust. And obviously, we're not able to be physically present with our clients right now. In fact, if you reflect back, how often were you actually physically present with your clients? Because I would challenge you to go through your contact list and find more than, call it 10% of your contact list that you were actually face to face. You could see their face, they could see your face. Maybe 10% in a year. I mean, it's not that much. And the reality is most real estate agents lose 70% of the business in their contact list anyway. We know that fact. I mean, I've got the data on that because we own an AI company that studies that. So you're only 30% effective right now. Call it what it is. And that's because you're not in contact with those people. You can look at all the different National Association of Realtors, stats and things of that nature. It's true. Most people don't stay in contact with their customers. So about 2 years ago, when I was a fresh CEO, I thought, how do I stay in the best contact with my customers? And I started creating video. And then I really stepped it up 18 months ago. And then towards the end of the year, towards the end of 2019, I had challenged myself. The 1st of December, I challenged myself to do at least a video a day. And you know what they say, practice makes perfect. The reality is, until you start doing this regularly, you're not going to get really, really effective at it. Think of like playing an instrument or a martial art or doing yoga or whatever it might be. It takes a great deal of repetition for the human mind to get used to and comfortable with something to the point that people look at you and go, wow, you get it. Because we're sending off verbal and nonverbal skills when people see us do something. Same thing with public speaking. You're going to suck at public speaking when you get up there the first few times. And it's going to be scary. In fact, 73% of people are afraid of public speaking. Strangely enough, about the same number of people are afraid of being on video. Why? Because they're afraid of other people's opinions. As a result, we scare ourselves into not doing it. So you're right. The majority of CEOs, I would say upwards of 85+% based upon the marketing statistics before COVID, I think it's probably even higher since COVID, are not present to the marketplace, to their communities, as well as to their customers. And I thought, I'm going to be the un-CEO. Why not? I don't want to be labeled as all the rest of the CEOs out there. People don't like them. And I thought, how do I become personable enough where I'm actually helping the community, where people go, I want to do business with that guy, or I just want to hang out with him. And that's kind of how we fulfill ourselves, is we we hang out with people that are amazing business leaders, and we get better at what we're doing, and everybody wins. So thank you for noticing that. Yes, I have been really exercising it. In fact, speaking of video, I have a gift for everybody. This weekend, I just wrote an ebook. It's only like 3,600 words. So it's, call it 10 pages or so. But I call it Video Playbook 2020. And to get this, I'll give you a website, video.adamcontos.com. Video.adamcontos.com. It's not branded. It gives you my 2 cents about video, what you should be thinking about, what you should be doing. And we can dig into some of those things on this Zoom call here. But the reality is I get asked this question so much that I sat down and I just put my mind on paper about video. And then I put some, made it look pretty, put a couple quotes in there that I really like. And there you go.
Good.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Phil.
So I was going to say video.
Sorry, we have a question before we move on from Angela. I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead.
Okay, hi. I have my first question is I'm new to real estate and I'm wondering about the videos. I'm sort of stuck at what do I make a video about?
Well, great question, Angela. First of all, you should have your video on right now.
Okay.
I'm judging.
That's my fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. The reality is people want to know about you. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I'll say that again. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. We're not in a transactional based business. We're in a relationship based business. Big difference. Relationship based business. Do you want to have any sort of an interpersonal relationship with somebody that you don't know? So realistically, what you need to do is just not really know what to say, but know how to say. And what you want to do is you want to just kind of open up and ask a question. Really, what do you want to talk about? I'm in a place called Castle Rock, Colorado. So maybe I would, as a real estate agent, say, hey, what are you up to in Castle Rock this weekend? Let me tell you what I'm up to. Hey, it's Adam Contos, and I am going to the incline. I'm going to go climb this mountain 3 times, and I'm going to see a couple of you guys there. Let me show you about it. And then I might tell them 2 or 3 things about it, and then I might say, hey, once again, it's Adam. Check me out on social media. I hope to see you at the incline. Talk to you soon. I'm not going to beat them over the head with a sales pitch or a brand or anything like that. All I'm going to do is tell them about me. Because you know what? They're going to go research me and they're going to figure out what my brand is. The consumer now wants to decide when they align you with your brand instead of you forcing your brand on them and then saying, look at me. So the paradigm is shifted. Yes, a brand is incredibly important. It is the greatest validation of trust that you can give to somebody. That's what we do is, we look at something, we go, oh, do I like this? Oh, it's that brand, I'm good. So think about that, how you shop now.
Yeah, that clarifies things for me, makes it a bit easier.
Sure. So, and just be you and do this several times a week at least. I tell people, if you really want to get good at video, do 10 minutes of video a day, but do them in 2-minute increments. So do 5. And people are like, what? That's 5? No, it's 10 minutes for crying out loud.
Right.
So, and then just put them on your Facebook page. Hey, I just stopped by the store. I wanted to say, I talked to Joe, the clerk there. Oh my gosh, what an amazing human being. Go by and say hi. That's it. Or go on live. And we can get into some of these things, but don't pitch, just be you is what I have to say.
All right. Thank you very much.
I'll bring you inside our circle in terms of the Golfi team. And, we were adapting to this whole new video thing. And, I was nervous. I was like, my dad, Rob, being on video, I don't know, is this something, is this good for us? And it's so funny. you know, in terms of if you scroll through our phones, there's so many thumbnails of videos of your face just because it's repetition and repetition. And from, you know, when we first started going back and forth and starting video and to where we are now, it's, you know, before it was 30 takes and then it was 20 and then it was 10. And, you know, I remember looking back, we're striving for that perfection every single time. It's like, oh, we got to be perfect. Whereas more people would rather have something that's genuine. And if you stutter, who cares? And if you screw up, you know, keep on going. But we were going for that perfection. Now it's just, you know, we just let it fly. And we see more feedback, more positive feedback on the videos that we're doing, where there's a little mishap or a little mess up or something like that. Can you speak to that? Because that's from our own experience.
I love that, Phil. And first of all, when I started doing videos so much, my company freaked out. I gotta tell you, CEOs are not supposed to be putting video on social media. That's what I was told. I mean, you know, you got like these investor relations people and attorneys and everybody like, it was, and I'm like, don't worry about it. If I screw it up, I'll go to a company that likes my videos. And they go, no, that's not the case. I said, that's what I thought. So, so they had to get used to it. Everybody has to get used to it. It's uncomfortable. This is not a natural thing, but it can become natural. You know who it's natural to is our kids. To our kids, this is nothing. My daughter can create she just graduated today from high school, I think. We got her flowers, so that's my indication. But she can make like a motion picture, and it's unbelievably awesome. I go, how did you do that? She goes, I just carried my camera around and shot a bunch of stuff, and then I sat down and edited it. I'm like, you're amazing. But so I have to try and keep up with that. But you know, realistically, when you look at overdoing your video, this is not about creating perfection by any means. Not at all. Don't try and be perfect. Just try. Okay. So has anybody read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear? Okay, write it down. Atomic Habits. The author is James Clear. If you don't like to read, get the Audible of it. But he talks about being perfect versus just doing a bunch of. And he talks about a study in there where there was a photography class in college. And the professor divided the class in half. And half of the class, he said, I'm going to allow you to turn in one photo. You can take one photo, and I'm gonna grade you based upon that one photo, so make it perfect. The other one, he said, I want you to turn in as many photos as you can. So half of the class, one photo, the other half, as many photos as they can, like minimum of hundreds or something like that. So he pulled out all the photos and looked at them. The class, the side of the class that turned in as many photos as they could, their photos were way better than the side of the class that turned in one. Because they were so tied up about trying to find perfection that they weren't taking photos. So there's something to be said about quality and quantity, because for some reason you are condemned for saying, no, I think quantity over quality is better. Everybody's like, then you just like bottom of the barrel. You know, they condemn you for wanting more instead of better. You're like, well, hang on a second. Because the only way that you find better is to do more. And that's how video works. So you also got to put yourself on the spot, Phil, which is why I absolutely love live video. You want to see somebody who is trying to learn how to speak on stage, speak really well on stage, throw them on stage and just tell them to do it. Don't tell them what to say. Don't give them slides, whatever. Just tell them to go from the heart. So on live video, you're not using a teleprompter. You're just talking. You're being you. You might have 2 or 3 talking points. You might put a sticky note on the camera that says, hit these things or whatever it might be. But ultimately, the bottom line is just be you and talk. So to get really good at video, stop recording them and then uploading them. Go on and post, call it a 2-minute, 3-minute, 5-minute, whatever. Have your format like I I talked about earlier, you know, the story arc that you're going to talk about, have that in your mind, the framework, and go talk live, because if you screw up, it's still going to be there, but
Mhm.
you're putting it out there. And you know what? When you're done talking, you're done. You don't have to go back and edit. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to second guess yourself and shoot it again. I have more takes when I rehearse and when I record than if I just go live. So that's why my team goes, just go live, go do your interviews, go live, stop recording stuff. You're going to screw it up. So practice that. And I would encourage everybody, just go be you and go on live, go on Facebook Live, go on YouTube Live, go on Instagram Live. And by the way, LinkedIn will let you go live now. That's where there's going to be some gold right there, because nobody's doing it. You have to apply to go live on LinkedIn. You gotta fill out an application and go, here's why I want to go live, and then they'll let you in or they won't. I don't know what the criteria is. I put in my application today. Let's see what they say. But that's just started recently, and that is, first of all, that's where there's a lot of purchasing power, is on LinkedIn. And second, everybody there is afraid to go live on video. So you might as well take advantage of that and do it. And they're going to be pushing the algorithms.
Yeah.
By the way, Mark Zuckerberg wants you to go live. He said so on his last Facebook Live. That tells you that you're going to rank better.
Right.
And here's a cool thing. This is really cool. I didn't think this was going to happen. I do a lot of business with Facebook. We do a ton of marketing business with them. And I know some of their executives because we strategize, and I encourage people to use their platform. Sheryl Sandberg sent me an email last week. Okay. I don't know if you know who she is. She's like the most powerful businesswoman on the planet. She's the chief operating officer for Facebook. Sent me an email just saying, hey, Adam, thanks for what you're doing. We appreciate your support and being a leader on video on Facebook. How cool is that?
That's wicked, man. That's huge.
That's nice. Definitely.
That means something.
That's everything. That means everything. In that last answer, you mentioned your team. You said my team wants me to go live. What does your team look like? How many people are you surrounded by? Roles and responsibilities of the team around you, and what does it take to produce your video on a daily basis?
All right. So first of all, my team, I have 4 direct reports. I run 4 companies. I'm the CEO of ReMax Holdings. ReMax Holdings owns ReMax, the real estate franchise company. Okay. Motto Mortgage, which is a mortgage franchise company. We started it 3 years ago. One of the fastest, I mean, it's one of the fastest growing franchises in the US, and is the only mortgage franchise company in the US. I think we have 113 open locations now in 3 years, which is really fast for that. We own Bouge, which is a technology company we bought 3 years ago. And we own First, which is a AI company that we bought in December. So those are the 4 companies that I oversee. And the 4 people that directly report to me are Nick Bailey, who's in charge of ReMax. He's the chief customer officer. I have Ward Morrison, who's in charge of Motto Mortgage. And then I have Serene Smith, who's my chief operating officer / chief of staff. And then Carrie Callahan, who's my CFO. Everybody in all those companies, all 550-ish employees, fall under them. So they're my team. I mean, I work with a communications group, our marketing group. We have, I don't know, 20 or 30 people in it. We have production groups. We have social media people. We've got a whole bunch of support staff that really drive the marketing engine of those 4 organizations, mostly ReMax and Motto, because the others feed in as service providers. But it's interesting because they all kind of like, well, you should or shouldn't be doing this. But to push a video out the door for me, you're looking at it, buddy. I'm sitting in my basement. This is the Contos bunker at Fort Contos. And I've got my camera right here. It's my camera. It's not the company's camera. My soundboard, my lights, and my laptop. And that's what I'm coming to you on. I mean, it looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks incredible.
Yeah, awesome.
So you can do this. Here, let me give you the equipment list here. Canon M50, Canon M50, okay? It's I have a 22 millimeter lens on it. And what that does is that gives a great deal of light and depth to this. The lens doesn't zoom in. It's one distance. It's a 22 millimeter lens. But you can see it, like that's slightly blurry behind me. You want your background to be more than 4 feet from you so that, and your camera more than 4 feet in front of you. So I'm like halfway through this room. This is a teeny tiny room. And I have a lavalier mic, and you gotta plug your camera into your computer. So I have a little cam link is what it's called, which is like a little USB card that plugs into the computer, and you plug the camera into that, and voila, I'm set. So, I mean, this is all it takes. This is all it takes.
That's awesome. That's
Hey,
awesome.
hey, I have a couple questions before we jump on to the next thing. First question is, when are Bouge and First coming to Canada?
Hopefully by the end of the year. You guys have a lot of dynamics. We're in beta testing right now for Bouge in Canada. First is really creepy. I mean, it knows more about you than you know about yourself. So it's a data company, and I love it. It's just fantastic for our industry. If you don't know about First, go to first.io on your computer and watch the video. It'll tell you what the company does. Basically, it mines 750 data points on every homeowner, and then it takes a look at what does a homeowner usually do? What activities is a homeowner engaged in before they decide to sell their house? And we do everything publicly, be it on the internet, our purchasing habits, stuff like that. I mean, there's 750 of them, and so the AI algorithm tells us when you're likely to sell your house, within the next 6 to 9 months. Like I said, agents miss 70% of the deals in their phone, the contacts in their phone. And so we're also building integrations with Bouge with this. Right now, we just bought First, so it's taking us a little while to do that. But we hope to have all that available to you by the end of the year, barring any issues with privacy rules and regulations, because you guys have in Canada, you got different privacy rules and regulations than in the US. Which First was built 5 years ago in the US to deal with all of those things. So it has to be adapted. Really, the code for all these things exists. It's getting the data fed into them to make it work well. So like Bouge, I know you want it yesterday. My wife's a ReMax agent. She's a real estate agent. And anytime we pull something out, she's like, I wanted this yesterday. Okay. We got to build them. We're building them for like tens of thousands of people in like hundreds of different locales and multiple listing services. And all it takes is one IT person in one multiple listing to change something on their API, and everything goes sideways. So you just got to stay on top of that. So we have a data infrastructure underneath all of this. And I'm building out the largest real estate and data infrastructure globally that's ever been built. So we're doing a pretty good job of it, frankly. So that's why I probably end a year. It's a little undertaking.
Impressive.
I've got a couple more here. What's the book called that you recommended?
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits.
And what's the name of that mic that you're using?
This is called a lavalier mic. It's just a style of microphone, LAVALIER. It just basically means it clips on your lapel. And then you can, if you guys probably get one of your video gurus there just to put together a decent equipment list for everybody. Some people want to shoot on a phone. Some people want to shoot on a camera. Some on a laptop. It just depends. You probably should have a video class internally, but you know, it's interesting. Have you guys heard of Box Brownie? Anybody using Box Brownie?
I heard of that. I think
Okay.
it was in Nashville. Was that
Yeah,
Nashville? I think I first heard about it.
they're a provider to ReMax. So we do a ton of business with them. I think they're in like South Africa is where they're located. But so like the camera that I use has this wide angle lens. I can walk into a house and you're supposed to hire a professional photographer. But here's the reality. Sometimes you need to get ahead of things. So if you're out shooting video or whatever, take a photo of a house and then send it to Box Brownie. Just go to boxbrownie.com. They're an approved supplier of ReMax. You can get to them through Max Center if you're with ReMax. If you're not, you got to go the regular route and pay the regular amounts. But it's like a $1.50 or $1.75. If you go and take a photo of the front of a house and send it to them, they will, with the magic of, I mean, I want them to do my family photos because they make everything look beautiful. And it's, I don't think they can do people though. I think it's just properties. But they can like literally take a bedroom that has all sorts of clutter and stuff in it and remove all the clutter. They can take photos off of walls. They'll take the front of a house and make it look gorgeous. So, I mean, for expired listings, this is an unbelievable tool because if you have something that's going to be expired soon, go take a photo of it with your phone and send it to Box Brownie and give them a couple dollars, and they'll make the outside of it look amazing. And you can send that over to the homeowner and go, hey, if I listed your house, it would look like this.
That's
So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with Box Brownie. They're magic.
Box Brownie is in Vancouver. I think they have it's in Vancouver, Canada. I'm a Canadian company, Box Brownie. And you're right. They can literally take a room that's cluttered with clothes and, you know, kitchen countertops, and they just clear it right up, and it looks like it was completely emptied out and cleaned up. They do a great job.
Yeah, it's bad. The outside, what they can do to the outside of houses is incredible. I mean, you know, so many houses look horrible on the outside when you're first listing them, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Send it to Box Brownie, let them make it beautiful. And I mean, people are going to look at it and go, I want to still live here. It looks so nice in the photo.
Yeah. Holly, do you have anything else?
Yes, I have one last question before you guys move on. Just Adam, what do you use for as far as technology when you're on the road? Like, is it just an iPhone, or do you bring your Canon along?
I'll use my iPhone, but I'll do more of a live broadcast, kind of like this on the road. So I use an app on it's a web app called StreamYard. StreamYard. It allows you to go live. If you're not willing to go live, then don't look into this. But I broadcast, like when I do my morning, I know, Rob, you see them all the time. My Facebook Lives where I just sit down casually and I start talking. That actually goes to 5 different places when I do that at once. And I can bring in my name, like what you guys see here on Zoom over here in the corner. I can put logos. I can bring slides in. So you just do a PowerPoint slide, hit play, and then hit share screen on your own monitor, and it boom brings in that slide. It's really simple to use. So all the broadcasts that we've been doing, I don't know if you guys have seen like Good Morning ReMax with Nick Bailey and my Mind Body Business broadcast and some of the other things that we do broadcasting on Facebook Live. We use StreamYard for it. Mm-hmm. So I'll use generally on the road more than anything. I'll use StreamYard if I want to do just Instagram or a Facebook, you know, something short on one channel, then I'll do it there. But StreamYard's perfect because it automatically sends it out to every place.
Yeah,
it's really convenient.
Yeah, this is something that we've used and have adapted. Actually, Holly, I think it was from Nashville again. You know, that's where we found out about it, and that's something that we've adapted to, and it's an incredible platform where, like you said, you're able to go to live on multiple different platforms and sources. That's incredible. Thanks for sharing that.
Hey, sorry, Phil. Sorry to keep cutting you off. Adam, what 5 platforms do you stream to? Are they multiple Facebook pages or the YouTube?
YouTube is one of them. I'll go YouTube Live, and it goes to my YouTube channel. And I like that because when it shows up there, then you can like repurpose it whenever you want because it's already on your YouTube channel. And then I have the rest are Facebook pages that I have. So I have a couple closed Facebook groups, and then I have a couple of open ones like my personal page, Adam Contos. Then I have Adam Contos CEO, which is my CEO business page. Once LinkedIn approves me to stream, then I'll be streaming to LinkedIn also on there, doing my lives to that. But let me kind of tell you a secret on doing these streams, doing these live broadcasts. So you want to look at them more than just video. So it's okay to sit down and just have a chat with your device and broadcast it out live. But ultimately, you want to accomplish two things. You want to put some copy in there, which are words, and go into just go onto my Facebook page and look at some of the Facebook Lives I've done and go look at the long form copy that I write. And I use emojis. I originally thought it was kind of dumb to use emojis, but they work really well. People love emojis because we think in stories. Human beings think in stories. So any way that you can tell part of a story or keep the semblance of a story going in what you write, you're likely to have more retention. So, for instance, if you're going to talk about selling somebody's, or you're listing a house in a neighborhood, for instance, to tell a story about something that has happened in that neighborhood is really, if you can, do it within the legal boundaries of your agreement wherever you're at. I don't know what the laws are there, but because in the U.S. you're not allowed to talk about like schools and stuff like that. I think you guys can. I don't know, but you can give somebody an open loop. So you're not going to believe something interesting happened to me in this neighborhood, and then just start telling the story, and you just bring them in. Think of it like a short television show, where you open the loop, tell the story, close the loop with an anecdote for the story. What's exciting about this, and then talk about anything else you want. I think we'll probably end up selling about 5 to 10 houses in the next couple months in this neighborhood. So it's a really interesting place to get to know. Let me know if you want me to show you around, just something like that. And so build the story in. But you'll notice that as I tell the story, as I lay out kind of the anecdote for what I'm trying to describe, I put emojis. And I was trying to figure out why. And I just kept going back and looking in history. And, we used to draw on the sides of caves with pictures of dinosaurs. So there you go. There's a first emojis.
Good. Okay, so I want to transition into leadership, and that was kind of the main preface of this webinar, of this talk is, you're our leader, a leader of ReMax, like you mentioned, across a number of different countries. I think how many ReMax agents now? What'd you say?
131,000.
Wow.
A leader of 131,000 ReMax, in how many different countries?
Over 110.
Crazy.
It fluctuates. They come and go.
So when somebody thinks of Adam Contos, the leader, what do you want them to think about? What's your goal as a leader?
My goal as a leader is that people know that I care. Humanity and kindness matter to me. And when you look at, I think it was in August or something like that. There's a group called the Business Roundtable in the United States. And it contains all of the large companies like JP Morgan. So Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of JP Morgan, largest bank in the world, largest lender in the world. He is the chairman of the Business Roundtable. Elon Musk is on it. It's just people like that. There's the Business Roundtable, which meets, I don't know, every year at least, and all these big wigs it's like a powerhouse place. They get together and talk about business. And then you have these smaller business roundtables. There's like 27 of them in the United States. I'm part of the Business Roundtable here in Colorado. But they were talking about not shareholder value, but instead stakeholder value. So you've got shareholder value, obviously people who own shares in a company. We're a public company, we have shareholders. My job is to look out for shareholder value as the CEO of the company. But ultimately, I know that if I don't look out for stakeholder value, which is employees, customers, shareholders don't get their value. So business leaders have flipped it on its head and said, look, I got to take care of my employees and my customers first, period. And then shareholders, you will benefit. Now, that doesn't mean give away your product for free. And that doesn't mean give all your profits away as salaries. What it means is you have to take care of the people as people. You got to care about the communities that people live in. You have to care about the schools that their kids go to. What does the economy look like locally, as opposed to big business crushing society type mindset. So I completely agree with that. I believe that we're in this for the people. And that's the key thing that I pursue in anything I talk about. I mean, you guys see it. I talk about humanity. I talk about kindness. I talk about emotional intelligence and emotional maturity, things like that. And that's because I realize that, our business functions off of how good of people we are. So our minds and our bodies create our business. So that's I've got a show, Mind Body Business, where I talk about that on Thursdays on Facebook Live. But I think the number one thing leaders need to do is be good humans. In order to do that, you have to be present. You have to be part of the community that you serve. So CEOs, stop hiding and be present and take care of people. And guess what? People will fall in love with your company if that's the case. That's the result is positive for the shareholders. But your intention has to be positive for the people.
Excellent. I think Holly has a couple more questions for us. That was awesome.
Yeah, so we've got Nick here with his hand raised. So I'm just going to unmute him here. Go ahead, Nick. Nick, are you there?
Where's Nick?
I'm here. I don't know if I can't see myself on this thing.
Nick, do you have your computer and your phone on?
I have the iPad on my phone, yes.
Yeah, turn one of them off because you're getting some feedback.
Okay, one's off.
We still have some feedback. Do you want to type your question and I can read it for you? Okay, so, okay, I'll jump on to the next one. So, would you say that there's a magic balance between talking about your personal life and providing market updates?
No, I wouldn't. I think, first of all, you shouldn't be talking about your personal life. You should be talking about theirs. Let me back up. The three most important words to any human being: me, myself, and I. Okay. And I'm not talking about you, and you. I'm talking about your customer, your customer. So when you're talking on video, when you're talking about these different things, everything has to, and it might be confusing how I was telling these stories about, hey, I want to tell you about when I was in this neighborhood type thing, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to take them through a story where they can see themselves in the neighborhood. So you want to talk about them and what you can see them doing and what you can help them with and give. Just think when you're talking about business, you're talking about the recipient of the business, not the business itself. So a good example would be, and don't get me wrong, yes, we have to put out market updates, okay? But what we should be doing is putting out community updates that has market information in it. So put out, if you started a Facebook group about your community, the community that you live in, that you sell houses in the most, whatever it might be, start that community. Don't call it, ReMax Castle Rock. Call it I Love Castle Rock. And Adam, who happens to work for ReMax, is the person that owns the site. And I'll be on video going, hey, it's Adam from I Love Castle Rock. I just wanted to share this with you. And you go, who is this guy? And at the very end, I might go, some of my ReMax friends and I were whatever, or, I'll drop little hints here or say, if you need anything, let me know. I work in the community here. It's my job. I'm with ReMax. Here's my phone number. Just nonchalant. I don't ever walk up to somebody and go, hey, I'm the CEO of ReMax. What do you do? So be careful, because that's how they will take you going and marketing to them and saying, hey, I'm me. Talk about them in the community. And this is the hardest part about what we're doing right now. This is probably the biggest, most challenging transition that's going on in society. Is as soon as and COVID was the final nail in this coffin of transitioning from hardcore sales marketing to community presence, belonging, and then business happens type stuff. So so talk about the communities. Talk about, here's a good one. All right. It's springtime. So everybody wants to know, where can I go spend time outside, especially now after we've been cooped up with this COVID thing. So put something out simply about the best parks in this community, and then send it to all the moms in the neighborhood. And at the bottom say, hey, if you have any other questions, I'm your community resource. Give them your name and phone number, and then put your logo there. But offer to help. Don't say, if I can sell your house, it'd be great. I'd love to come by and give you a valuation. They know that. Just, invite them to your Facebook group and say, I'm going to be talking about each of these parks over the next 2 weeks. And maybe you have 10 parks, one a day. Stop by the park and go, hey, it's Adam. Today I'm at park number 3. Here's what I think is really cool about this. Take a look around. It's close to the school. It's close to the golf course, whatever it might be. Some beautiful houses around here. If you want to look at any, let me know. I can help you with that too. And just move on. But do it for them. And they will appreciate that. This takes time. Everybody thinks when you put up marketing, you're like, all right, I did my marketing. Cool, I'm done. Check. But really, you want results.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes time to create those results organically. But once you start the momentum going from those results, they just completely blow up on you. And you're like, wow, I have more results than I thought I was going to get. But don't ever think putting out a video or whatever is going to give you like instant overnight success. It's not.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. What would you say is the best advice to get us through the next 6 months? And if there are any predictions on the market?
The market's going to come back. Okay. I mean, that's just the reality of it. The market's going to come back. And we're going to get through the market. The thing you have to think about is, wherever you set the bar for this year, whatever your goal was for this year, and a goal is a number, it's your activities that you need to be worried about, because your activities are the only thing that gets you to your goal. You need to double your goal. Okay. And I know some people might be, I just raised my goal. Yeah. You need to raise it again, because right now, a lot of people are not in the marketplace. So now's when you can raise your goal. Now's when you can do more. It might be a little harder right now, or seem a little harder, or a little different, but you know what? We just need to get stronger. We need to get more connected to our community and approach this from a different angle. The housing market is going to be strong in North America. Interest rates, money will continue to be very inexpensive for people borrowing. The world has to have a stable economy, and all the governments are going to be doing everything they can to get people to spend money. And buying houses is spending money, and buying houses causes people to spend money. So, some parts of Canada are troubled by oil as well, still, quite a bit. It's just another dynamic you got to work with. People are still doing more business than they ever have. You just need to be one of those people. It's a mindset. I was coaching a guy. He's in medical sales, and his name's Tom. And Tom came to me and I asked him, when I was working with him to begin with, I said, how many times, because there are three ways you can make more money. You get more customers, you raise the amount of money that you charge a customer, and you sell more products to those customers. Okay. So more customers, more deals per customer, and more money per customer, or more money per transaction. So I asked Tom, I said, how do we get more transactions per customer? He was selling a product to doctors. And he goes, well, I think we can get, like our goal is to get 11 of these per doctor, sell 11 of these per doctor. And I said, why 11? He goes, well, when we rolled it out, we were getting like 2 or 3 per doctor. So they said, make 11 your goal. See if you can get to 11. I go, well, how many people in the doctor's office are capable of buying this from the doctor? And is it a good thing? He goes, everybody, doctors should be selling 400 to 600 of these. I said, why are you going for 11 then? If you can get 400 to 600. He goes, because that's what we've been getting is up to 11. I said, so you've just like built your own limitations, right? He goes, yeah, I guess so. I said, what do you do when you talk to a doctor? I mean, what do you tell them when you sit down with them? He goes, we think you can buy up to 11 of these. I go, what if you walked into the doctor and said, you have about 400 people that need these? How many do you think the doctor's going to go, I can get you 11? No, the doctor's going to go, let me see if I can get you like 250. And Tom took over the business. Out of 167 salespeople, he became number one because he changed what he thought he could get in his sales. So that's what you need to look at. You need to look at what is your total addressable market. Now, I don't know the exact numbers in Canada, but I can tell you in the United States that every year, 100 people know about 412 sales. So this is interesting because in the US, people buy a house every 8 years roughly, okay? So if you have 100 people that you know really well, 12 of them are gonna do a deal, right? So 8 times 12 is 96. So 12 of them will do a deal every 8 years. So there's 12 a year. So there's your addressable, everybody's like, oh, out of 100, I can get 12 deals. No. Each one of those people also knows 4 other people who are going to buy or sell a house. So now you have 412 possible deals out of 100 customers. You just looked at it from what you're capable of doing from the bottom instead of what you're capable of doing from the top. When I tell that story, agents are like, I'm going to go change my goals because I need to go ask all those 100 people that I know, who are those 4 people? Absolutely. It's all in how you ask for the sale. It's how you approach it with your mindset. Nobody can, a lot of people go, I'm going to do 12 deals a year. I'm going to do 1 a month. I mean, seriously? Come on. You can do another 400 if you just know 100 people really well. Go make really good friends with those 100 people. Bottom line, you can do more than 12. You'll do 3 to 5 times that if you really approach it the right way, minimum. You just got to have the capacity to do that.
What do you think is going to change in our business with this COVID? How we operate our business? What changes do you think is going to happen? How is business going to be conducted differently compared to before COVID?
I think a lot of that has to do with local regulation. We're seeing different regulatory changes. The government is actually, in different areas. I look at many markets. I don't know exactly the dynamics of yours, but things like wet signatures on paperwork can be done digitally now in a lot of places. You can go to when do you have to be present? When does the buyer have to be present in the home versus can they be virtually present? Things like that. So, I think all of the virtual aspects, if you just call all this virtual capabilities, I think we're seeing a lot of evolution in the virtual capabilities where anything that can be done virtually if it's safe for the buyer and safe for the seller when it comes to liability, I think we're going to see those changes made. Some have already happened. Others are going to take a while, and it depends on the politics in your area, but some may be slow to come through. Same thing with lending. I think lending you may see a little bit different changes. In the United States, we now have day of closing verification, and then the appraisals can go up to 6 months, or no, after the rescission period. So, call it 60 or 90 days in some cases. They can have the appraisals done. I mean, I wouldn't want that personally, but it depends on the loan and the location and things like that. So, but I think you're going to see some of the regulation change. Here's what I think is going to change for agents. Agents are going to need to demonstrate ahead of time, first of all, the beginning of the sales process. So instead of you going and meeting somebody and going into the know, like, and trust process for them to say, yes, you can be my agent, I think you're going to have that done ahead of time. I think that's going to be done by them researching you, seeing you on video, how you communicate with them as soon as they're generated as a lead or a contact. I think this race to trust is going to happen. And if you're waiting and thinking, all right, well, let's go meet for coffee and we'll get to know each other and I'll tell you what I can do. And obviously, you want to get them under an agreement pretty quick. However, they want to still get the trust before they do business with you. They expect that time frame of getting to trust to be compressed. They expect it to be compressed because they can virtually learn about you and they can talk to you this way. A phone call or a return call on a lead generation, I think needs to be immediately followed up with a video and a scheduled video call to get that conversation going right away. Because if you see them quickly, this isn't like dating anymore where you're like sending notes and text messages or whatever, however online dating works now, where people would be like, message. Hey, you want to get on a phone call? This is, let's get on a video now and get to know each other. I think that's going to be different. That's going to be compressed. If you're not good at that and you don't have your professionalism together for making a video, get your video figured out, folks, so that they can see you and go, dang, that person's got it together. I want to talk to them. Have your information, on like StreamYard or whatever, where you can pull in the slides and say, let me show you a couple of market stats here that I'm working with. Boom. You should be able to put a slide up on your video when you contact them the first time. Have it loaded up. Just update it every week, whatever you need to do. It's time to learn a little more technology, which our industry is very slow on. So we need to catch up on that. You better be prepared for people who are scared. Have your showing kit, which has rubber gloves, a mask, hand sanitizer, and wipes, and the little booty things if you have some of those. I would get ahead of some of these conversations as far as telling people, here are the expectations. But here's the reality, Rob. I think this is really important. People want you to tell them what they need to do because they're in an environment now where people have told them what they need to do for the past 2 months. So they're going to sit there, going to wait for you to tell them, okay, let me tell you how the real estate process works right now. And we're going to stick to this because this is really good and it's very efficient. If you come in that way and lay it out for them, you can set the timeline, you can set how things are going to happen, and you can control your volume that you're capable of handling. So, they want to see a leader, for crying out loud. And a leader tells people how things need to go when they wonder.
Thanks, Adam. I want to respect your time. Do you have time for one more question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my last Zoom of the day. So yeah, I got a couple minutes.
I hate to say it, but it's actually a tough question. So the question is, does Adam and his team in Canada have plans to beat out disruptors that are in the US currently that plan to expand to Canada, for example, Zillow?
plans to beat out disruptors. First of all the disruptors are gone right now. They rolled up their whole operation and pushed pause during COVID, which is why you don't see anything going on, particularly the disruptors known as iBuyers. Zillow is a portal. Zillow is not necessarily a disruptor. They're a portal that is experimenting with different ways of getting you to pay them money. Okay. I got news for you. Canada operated really well without portals. So kind of up to you guys how you control your data there. It's not up to me. But I intend to be the real estate technology leader globally. Whoever that disrupts, I don't care. That's where I'm headed. That's why I bought Bouge. That's why I bought First. That's why if something else comes along that's really good, we'll buy it. We're profitable. They're not. So are they a force in the marketplace? Yes. But they recognize that so are we. So until they get real estate agents, we'll cordially play in the marketplace. But there's room for a lot of people in this marketplace. We're the dominant real estate company in Canada. We're not in the US, but we have the highest producing agents. So that one I will take quality over quantity for. But we're making our moves. It's not one of those where you come in and go, I want the whole thing. I just want the good part, is the way I look at it.
Good.
Awesome.
Adam, are you familiar with the Last Dance documentary, 97, 98 Bulls?
No.
No. Okay, no problem. That's all good. Dad, do you have anything else?
No, I was just going to mention coming out of this, I guess having the strongest and biggest brand in the world, it just makes this a lot easier for us realtors that are with ReMax. And I guess Adam, I guess you're just trying to make sure that we stay number one worldwide continuously. Especially going through this COVID, I think anybody that's a ReMax agent definitely is going to benefit coming out of this or in this right now. There's no doubt.
We've proven our strength through 6 recessions. So this is another dynamic in that this is not a recession, but I mean this is something completely different. But ultimately, what you find is the best figure out a way to make it happen. And with the conversations that I've been having with people like you guys, I'm confident that our organization will continue to strengthen as we exit this. We always see a shift in the agents that do and don't in the marketplace. More we see a compression of the agents that don't do business. They go hang their license someplace that allows them to not do business, which I don't understand that, why you want to be mediocre at something. But I look at it and go, I'm with the best agents in the business, and we're going to do our very best for the best agents. So we're proud of what we got. We're proud of where we're going, and how we're helping our communities during this process. And like you mentioned before, you don't see any other CEO standing up and saying that. So maybe shame on them. Maybe they got some other plans. I don't know, but we'll get through this and we'll be better on the other side.
Awesome. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for your time. Stay safe, stay well, and hopefully we could do it again sometime down the road. But thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we all definitely got something out of this. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Great to see you guys, and maybe we'll have to hop on another one of these and do this again in the near future. So
you got it. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for all the participants that jumped on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye now.